What's up, boxing fans? This is the Rope and Dope Report. I am your host, Chris Carlson, just getting ready to watch this Game 3, the Lakers and the Magic. But this isn't about basketball, this is about boxing. So, a couple days ago, actually last night, I recorded what I'm about to do. But it failed. Sometimes if you go a little long, you know, I've seen like 11 minute, 10, 30, a little over 11 make it. Because they say 10 minutes and down, but sometimes you can go over it a little. But for whatever reason, mine was like 12:03, and they didn't count it. So I'm gonna do a video tomorrow night too on the new opponent and kind of do a prediction for the Vladimir Klitschko fight. I know you guys are excited about that. Anyway, this is the top 10. I did a couple days ago. I did the top 10 pound for pound, who I thought is the best. Now I'm doing the most exciting fighters out there. And it's really tough to get, you know, a list all together. So I got some almost, okay? And now these are guys that are really skillful, and they're at least in the top 10. Don't get me wrong. There are a ton of fighters like Emmanuel Augustus, for example, that aren't in the top 10 or anything like that, but have fought a lot of great fighters and has a lot of L's, but then again, they're always fun to watch. I think his most boring fight was his last fight that I saw on the undercard of the Calzaghe-Jones. That fight kind of sucked. It was messed up because he even fought a basic style, kind of like what people want him to fight as far as promoters. They don't want him doing that loosey-goosey stuff. But then he lost anyway. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. There's a ton of good fighters out there that are awesome to watch. Please leave a comment on those type of fighters. And because I want to hear more about them. Maybe I haven't heard of them, and I can go check them out. Anyway, there's some borderline guys, okay? Pavlik. Pavlik's a really fun fighter to watch. If the guy comes to fight him, he's a really fun fighter to watch. James Kirkland. We all know his situation. Juan Diaz. Juan Diaz, man, he's just not in boring fights. Nate Campbell, guy that beat him. Good fight there. Juan Manuel Lopez is one of my favorite fighters to watch. Mosley, another guy, just comes to fight. Jorge Arce. Arce, even though he got his Arce, that was cheesy, Arce kicked by Lopez, he still landed, you know, a lot of punches. And not Lopez, I'm sorry, Darchinyan, my fault. Darchinyan beat him and smothered him the whole fight, but he still made it a fun fight to watch. Bika, Saikyo Bika, the guy that won the contender, that guy's always in fun fights to watch. Nonita Donaire, that's another guy that he's more skillful than than people on this list, and even on the list that I'm going to have for my top 10. But he's a great fighter to watch. Carl Froch, you know, just to name a couple. But this is my actual top 10. Let's start at 10. And a lot of people are like, what? Glenn Johnson, okay? Glenn Johnson, sometimes he's in slow-paced fights, but no matter what, they turn out to be really good fights. Even the one against Judah's brother. On ESPN was an okay fight to watch. You know, he made it exciting. The first 4 rounds with Dawson, it was kind of just one-sided, but he brings you through life and death situations. He takes you out to the deep water, and you know, he basically sees if you can finds out if you can swim or you'll drown with him. So he's a fun fighter to watch. Always brawls, always makes it a good fight. The guy, name me a guy in the last 15 years that's fought as much as talent as him. I don't see it. Anyway, Jerry Penelosa, and this is what I meant by that Lopez thing. Juan Manuel Lopez beat the you-know-what out of him, but he still landed 20% of his shots and still wanted to continue. Didn't get knocked on his butt or anything. That dude is fun to watch. He's very skillful. He's not just a brawler or anything like that. But I really like Jerry Penelosa. Gamboa. Gamboa is basically the least experienced on this list. But the guy's fun to watch, man. He basically fights you like you said something bad about his family. And that dude, you know, like I said, it's going to catch up to him. But, man, that guy's really fun to watch. So we got 10 Glenn Johnson, 9 Penelosa, 8 Gamboa, 7 the Punisher, Paul Williams. Some people may think this is a little too low for him. He's always great to watch. He just brings, you know, punches, amount of, you know, 1,000 punches, 1,200 punches a fight. The guy is just really fun to watch. Juan Manuel Marquez. Now, a lot of people Don't like his style when he first started out in the middle of his career because of the counter punching. But no matter what, he's always in a pretty damn good fight. And of late, you got to admit, I mean, look at his last 3 fights. I mean, last March against Pacquiao, enough said. Then he fought Casamayor last September, and that was a great back-and-forth fight that he ended in a knockout. And then his last fight, Juan Diaz, I don't even have to mention that. That was an awesome fight that he ended in a knockout. So he's like one of my favorite fighters to watch. Victor Archinian, number 5. The dude just comes straight ahead. You know, he used to go a little too wide with those Hatton-type lunge punches with the wide hooks. He's tightened up. After Donaire knocked him out, he's tightened up a little bit. Don't get me wrong, he's super aggressive, but he's tightened up his punches a little more tighter and a little more. He's still really aggressive, but a little more smarter, just a little bit. Some guys, much like Gamboa, just need to be a little smarter. So Victor Archinian, no matter what, I'm watching him. You know, he's really fun to watch. Number 4, Israel Vazquez. This guy has been in so many great fights. If you haven't seen him, I know if you're watching this video, you've seen him. But honestly, go back and watch some of his fights. I mean, the guy makes comebacks in the middle of it. That 12th round in his last fight, when you needed to win the round to win the fight, he went out there and knocked dude down to win it. So he got 2 points and just snuck out that win. So Vasquez is one of my favorite. Let me check for time. I'm not going over tonight. All right. Margarito. Now, a lot of people, you know, with the Margarito, you know, I'm sorry, Puerto Rican fans or anyone that hates Margarito now. But say what you want. The dude throws punches. The dude can take a punch. And he's fun to watch. I mean, he threw like 1,575. That was the record of since CompuBox has been around. That they actually have stats of it. That's the most, but I think somebody in the featherweight division, I can't remember the little guy, he's got a rematch of a fight too. Anyway, he has the record now. But, I mean, when you throw 1,500 punches in a fight, come on now. You're throwing 100 around, that dude's fun to watch. Cotto, right there. You know, that matchup between them was great to watch. And Cotto has, you know, more fundamentals, has that jab. So he's fun to watch in a variety of ways. But no matter what, you know, he'll get hurt. He'll get that guy hurt. He's just a fun fighter to watch. I mean, you can't really go wrong with Cotto. And the number 1, which is really no secret, the number 1 most exciting fighter is Manny Pacquiao. This dude, I can't recall that he's been in a bad fight in the last chunk of years. No matter what, it makes it a fun fight. That's why I don't like, and I know it's just playing with a deal with Mayweather, but when Freddie Roach says, you know, his style is boring, that's a boring fight, that's nonsense. Pacquiao is the one that's going to bring the fight. So, therefore, you know, don't get me wrong, he'll probably fight a little different against Floyd, but he's going to make it a good fight regardless. So, let me know what you guys think about my list, and I want to hear your guys. I want to hear some names that, you know, don't get, you know, said in the public much. Or maybe that I don't even know, that I want to see. Anyway, this has been the Rope-A-Dope Report. I am your host, Chris Carlson. Peace.